Just in, market data, hot off the press. You guys, we're going to take a look at this. It's pretty valuable information. This is hot off the press, Lakeland Association of Realtors. I'm here to be your action news reporter, AKA real estate agent, giving you some market updates. You want to know what's going on in the market? I'm glad you came into this channel. Thank you so much. My name is Brian Stevens. I am with eXp Realty. Living in Central Florida. We are in Lakeland, Florida, Polk County, right between Tampa and Orlando. You're about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half to Orlando, depending on the traffic, which is always a bear. Throwing that out there. To Tampa, about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what part of Tampa. So we are right in the middle. Lakeland, by the way, side note, one of the fastest growing booming cities in the United States. So if you're thinking about moving here, there's a lot of people coming here. A lot of people coming to Lakeland because of the central location, because of our affordability, relatively speaking, for pricing. We're going to be, generally speaking, less than Tampa or Orlando on a whole. Take a $400,000 home here in Lakeland. Again, generally speaking, man, I'm telling you, you go take that same home, go to Tampa, $550,000, $600,000, depending on what part of Orlando, could be more. We're a good bang for the buck here in Lakeland, but my goal of my video here is not to blow up Lakeland and hope it to get bigger, because some people are like, man, I don't like all the traffic. I mean, there's going to be traffic here. I'm just telling you right now, if you're moving here to Lakeland, Florida, traffic is increased. Now, if you're coming from a bigger city and you've already got traffic, you may think this is kind of normal or not so bad. For those of us who've been here for 50 years, 50, count it. Yes, I've been here for 50 years, actually about 58 years. I moved here when I was really young. It's like quadrupled in size. It really blew up right after COVID. Our city just really, I don't know if it doubled, but traffic seems like it's twice as bad. But let me say this. The growth is exciting. We're getting more and more business opportunities here. We're getting more restaurants. We're getting some great hot spots to go to. Lakeland is definitely keeping up with its growth, meaning a lot of the offerings that we have in Lakeland, I think, is phenomenal. It's a great place to raise a family. Love Lakeland. It's been my heart and soul. Our kids were raised here, and it's fantastic. So in the real estate market, I feel overall, generally speaking, is still pretty good here. Homeowners insurance has gone up a little bit somewhat, as it has all over the nation. Now, I want to be so careful when I say this, because some of you will take this out of kilter and say, oh, it's doubled and tripled. In some markets and places, it may have. But, you know, personally speaking, and people that I know, homeowners insurance has gone up a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy, but it has gone up. And just like everything else, right? Taxes, insurance is part of it. And guess what? You're living in Central Florida. You have to pay to live here. That's the reality of it. And the recording of this video is the end of July 2025. It's a little toasty here. But I'm telling you, overall, besides about 3 months out of the year, July, August, September are scorching hot. But other than that, man, it's really nice to live in Florida. You can wear shorts year round. Okay, I divert. Here we go. Multiple listing service, Lakeland Association of Realtors. This is a up-to-date market report through the end of June is what I want to give you. And I think this is valuable information because you can read stuff online, and there's some great, credible sources online. But I am a 20 or 30-year veteran, 29 years, 30 years veteran, seasoned in the industry. And this is data that I can read from our association. And I just want to point out a few things, because I think you're going to find this information pretty valuable depending on if you're buying or selling. I think either way, you're going to like this information. So here we go. This is, again, MLS to the end of June 2025 through the Lakeland Association of Realtors board. Couple things to note. So our average price range year to date for beginning of January through the end of June, average sales price is about $349,650. Call it $350. So we've seen that average price range inch up throughout the years, and it will continually to do that as prices increase. It's just a natural progression of real estate. So we're averaging about 350 for the average sale price year to date. The average list price year to date, again, average was about 360. So if you look at the numbers, that is an average list to sell price of about 97%. So if you're buying a home, if you're selling a home, know that, and I'm going to drill down and be more specific in just a minute. Overall, in this market, that is a home that's $1 up to over $1 million is what this report is. So all homes that have sold, which is a total of 2,088 homes through the Lakeland Association of Realtors, they're selling for about 97% of list price. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea. That is what it's listed for what it sells for. The average days on the market, guess, would think it'd be a little bit longer. Sometimes it feels like that. But before I tell you the answer to that, this market has been in Florida, has been kind of freakish the last several years. Up till the last year and a half-ish, when we went through, call it 21, 22, it was nuts. It was probably like that in your market, no matter where you're watching this video. And in some parts of the north central, northeast part of the United States is still very strong. You're having multiple offers and going over ask price. Our market here has somewhat normalized. And so when I say normalized, what I mean is it's taking several months for a home to sell, generally speaking. Now, we still see homes that hit the market that are priced right, that are going sale pending in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 10 days. Absolutely, we're seeing that. So that is not out of the question here. We're seeing that. I could go on the hot sheet today on MLS and get some good ideas of what is sold quickly. And there's definitely properties doing that. That is not the norm. That is not the norm in this market. We were caught, man. I tell you, realtors, the general clientele have thought that. They still go into this market. You can't think this is a 2022 market. It is not like that. It has changed. It's a changed market. It's different. So, average days in the market, 73. Little over what? 2.5 months. That's by the time it gets a contract on it. Then it normally closes 30 to 45 days after that. So by the time they get a contract on it, on an average, 73 days. Still not bad, honestly. It really isn't. But I will tell you this. As a realtor being spoiled in this market where we've been, as buyers or sellers, especially as sellers, if you're selling a house, what's taking so long for my house to sell? Where do you fall in the average days in the market? Right now, at the end of June, inventory, there was 1,398 properties total on the market. Single family home, condos, mobile homes, you name it, okay? Properties that are for sale. So very interesting statistic. Taken 73 days. Not bad, not normal, or normalizing, but we're still trying to get a hold of this and figure it out. Okay, so as I told you, the average price. So it's no surprise that the average between 3 and 350. That's where most of the homes, the majority of about 21% of the homes that are listed on this report sold in that price range between 300 and 350. 427 homes sold, about 21%. The average list price was 331 and some change. The average sale price was 324 for a 98% of list to sell. Strong. So if you're listing a home in that 350 price range, 330, statistically speaking, your home is probably going to sell for about 2%, right? Less than you're asking for, depending on condition, the location, and where you have it priced. More than likely, statistically speaking, you need to have 2 to 3% wiggle room to negotiate. Now, this was interesting. The average days in the market, and this tells you where the market is. In the most, I say not most affordable, in the average price home and a more of affordable home, the average days in the market is 80 days. That's almost 3 months that homes in that 325, 345 sat, which is a longer time. If you look at the whole 10, 20-year plan, it's still not bad the last 10, 20 years. But in this market, It's normalizing. People aren't used to that. What's taking so long? Nothing. It's a normal market. 233 inventory homes in that price range currently today on the market, which is the largest in any of the categories. Find that very interesting. So, and this is the other interesting. There's statistics for each of the other price ranges, which, by the way, if you want to book a call with me, all my contact information is below. I would love to connect with you and talk about where you're targeting to purchase in the Central Florida and the Lakeland, Polk County area, Lakeland, Winter Haven, Bartow, Mulberry, Auburndale, Haines City, Lake Wales. We service all of Polk County and even a little bit outside of Polk County. And we have a nationwide referral network too. And we can drill down deep in some of these different price ranges, but here's what I want to tell you. So the statistics vary a little bit depending on price range, but I've given you kind of weighted averages to get a good idea. Here's the other thing that struck me as very interesting in Lakeland. $1 million and over. Okay, I already told you our average price range is $350. In $1 million and over, it represents, well, it only represents a 1.25 market share of our market share. So 1.25% of the 2,088 homes sold, 26 homes have sold over $1 million, 1.25% of the marketplace. Here's what was interesting. First of all, that's going to end up averaging what, 50 to 60 homes if it stays on par, $1 million or over in Lakeland. That's crazy for our market. Growing up here, if you'd have told me that 50 homes are going to sell for over $1 million in Lakeland Association of Realtors, I'd have thought, my goodness, are you serious? But that's the case. It's kind of cool to see. So the average list price in the $1 million and over was 1.5 and some change. The average sale price was 1.4 for an average list to sell ratio of 93%. That was the lowest percent. I take that back. When you get in the 70s and 80s, things were a little bit lower list to sell percentage. They were about 84, 85, 87%. So things are going for a little bit different there. But when you really look, I'm just going to call it over $125,000 up to $1 million. Things are in that 97, 98% list to sell price category. But when you go to $1 million and over, you're looking at about 93% list to sell. Couple reasons. Number one, you're talking about big prices. Number two, you don't have a ton of buyers in that price range. Number three, there's not a ton of inventory in that marketplace, although more than you would suspect. So 93% list to sell. The average days in the market is around 56 days, so less than 2 months, which tells you there's still a market for that. And let me tell you this, you will see more cash deals in this price range than you can believe. That would actually be a good stat to go over, is how many of those 20 properties that have sold by the end of June this year were cash. It'd be more than you would think. People have cash and they're bringing cash here, and cash is king, cash is good. So those were two very interesting stats that I drew from that. And so I hope this has helped you to get an idea of today's marketplace. And now, again, per neighborhood and per different sections of Lakeland could vary a little bit. And I'd love to, myself or my team, discuss with you a little bit more about what your situation is if you are purchasing in the area or you're looking to sell. Let's book a conversation. We'll talk about your needs. All my contact information is below. Would love to serve people and help you guys with your real estate needs. It's a calling in our lives. We think God has put us to this and to help other people. So know that we would love to walk alongside you along this way. I have a great team. We have a full-time assistant. We have some great agents that we partner with that is on our team. So let's connect and talk about you and what your needs are. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do me a favor. If you would like, comment, subscribe to this channel whenever I drop more videos, you'll get notified, whether it's walkthrough tours, which I have a bunch. Look right behind me. Some cool, really cool homes. That and other market information. God bless. Have a good day.